Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 20th and 11 o'clock in the morning, and I am Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. So Hey Chuck is a bundle that's in the annual catalog, so it's not in our mini catalog. We're going to start just with a plain piece of basic white, and we are going to take it and we are going to make it colorful. Okay, so I've got three different colors here: Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Poppy Parade, which I thought were some nice bright colors for our chuck, for our chickens, our roosters. So we're going to start with our yellow, and we're going to start on the bottom, and we're going to pick up some color, and I'm just going to tap off once, and then I'm going to start swirling it right onto the bottom. And I want a fairly intense color here. So I'm going to pick up more color as we go, a fair bit, tap it off just a little bit, and then get some color going. So I'm going to go about a third, maybe a little less than a third, sort of evenly distributed. And we may come back to it. So I'm just going to leave that there. Now we're going to go into our orange, and the orange here is Calypso Coral. It's not pumpkin pie. I wanted something that was just a little bit lighter. So I'm starting light, coming in from the side, going right up to that yellow. So now I've got the first layer down. I'm going to come with our second layer, and I'm going in a circular pattern here because this is a little bit of a darker color. So I'm going fairly light on my hand, so that I'm not getting a huge amount, a big burst of color in any one spot. And I'm just going to very lightly sort of bring that into the yellow so it looks like it just gradually moves from the yellow into the orange. Now, the next color we're going to go for is our Poppy Parade. And I could go with this same one here, but I'm going to actually bring in my pinky red color. Pick that up, tap it off. It's a pretty bright color, so I'm going to get rid of some of that color, and then I'm going to come in on the bottom again. So I'm going to come from the bottom, and then I'm going to come up to meet that Calypso Coral. Okay, and what we're going to have are 3 grades of color. And this is going to be a really nice bright card for kids. So all we're doing is creating a background that is a variegated color. Okay, so you can really see that we have the 3 different levels of color. Now I'm going to go back in just with a tiny bit of yellow right at the top again and go over top of that orange and just make it a little bit more gradual. Okay, so we are done with that. We've added some color. We're happy with the color. What we're going to do with this piece of paper is we're going to do something with it using the mini alphabet dies. Now the mini alphabet dies are a cute little set of dies, and anytime I can find an alphabet, that's what I want because I love making my own words. So this is how the mini alphabet die comes, and this is in the current mini catalog. And instead of having each individual letter, all of the A through Z are all one. So they're all one. You get some duplicates. So you get a couple A's, O's, L's, H, some of the letters that we tend to use a little bit more often. So we're going to take the whole thing, and I've got my A at the top here, and this is going to be the top. The yellow is going to be the top, and I'm going to place that right over top. I'm going to put that on with a little bit of tape here. Get that so it doesn't move, hopefully, because I need it just the right spot. So you might want to have a little bit bigger piece of white to start with. Now, all of my measurements you will find on my blog, so at www.designwithjo.ca tomorrow. So I'll post everything tomorrow, including what we make today. And we are going to run this through our cut and emboss machine. Now, that I must have used that tape a couple times because it wants to move. So let me place this here a little bit differently. I do not want it to move. Okay, so we're going to run that through. And what's nice about this, you really only have to run it through one time, and it does the trick. Okay, so run it through one time. Now, what's sort of fun about this, let me take that off. I'm going to take the whole thing off. I'm going to turn it over for you so you can see. So what happens is, lift that off, a lot of the letters fall out. Now look how fun those letters are. So you get the positive, which is the letter itself, and you get the little negative. It comes out as well. So we are going to leave those aside, but most of them came out one time, like no problem at all. So to get any more of them out, what I found is the easiest. Just slide that off of there. And see, I'm just a little tiny bit shy there. Darn. Okay, well, we're going to go with it anyway. I'm going to take my rest of my letters out. We're just going to make that work. We have that cut out, so we're going to use the cutout more than anything. Okay, so let's go here. And I've actually pulled in a little bit of blueberry bushel, and I haven't scored this yet. So I'm going to score it now, halfway. So we're just going to pull in our trimmer, score this at 5.5, get that cutting blade out of the way, score it. Okay, we're done with that. And we're going to fold that in half. Now I wanted a color that I thought would really coordinate well with all of the colors here. And I wanted some colors that would go with our chickens. Okay, so that's why I chose the blue. And I also wanted one maybe that would be guys. Now, I want to show you this because it looks to me like I have not cut this exactly straight. See how I've got a little bit over there, and I'm definitely not meeting it down here. So if that happens to you, what you can do is just pull this over with your finger, hold it down on something really solid, and then try and give it a better score than what you may have had. Okay, so we are going to put that right on top like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue that down. I'm going to glue it down right away. Now you could put another color underneath here if you wanted, but you don't have to. We're going to glue it down. And I've got my liquid glue to do that. And I'm going to go all the way down the side, all the way down this side. I want a little bit of that liquid, that side left over, just because we're going to do something else with it. Dot in a few places here, just so that your glue is going to hold it in place. Definitely use a slightly bigger piece of paper than I did for next time. And I will have the correct measurement on my website tomorrow so that you have the correct measurement as well. So just dot in. Now, you could also have used an adhesive sheet behind that. And then double bonus, you would have had all your letters would have had adhesive on it as well. So we're just going to go right over top. Try and give yourself the same amount of space, top, bottom, sides. All right. I love how that just shines right out from that blue, that card. So here's our Hey Chuck. So we are going to watercolor today. So how many of you have watercolored, right? So the watercolor is fun and it's quick. That's what I like about watercolor, is that it's really quick. But we're going to watercolor using our markers. So I've stamped just a couple of these guys. I really like this sort of, look, we're going to call them a portly rooster. So I've done a couple of those, and I have my water painters. Now there's 3 water painters that come in a set. If you have the older aqua painters, they work like a charm as well. I'm going to use the large one here because we're going to color in. So this is our Fluid 100 watercolor paper that I'm on. I've got Stampin' Write markers. We're going to go with a chicken maybe who's a little bit brown, so he's got some pecan pie. What you want to do is you want to use the brush tip of your marker, so the thicker part of the marker, and you can see it's got a thicker line than down here. If you use the other end, it just is not going to give you much for results. So there's our pecan pie. There's a little bit of our early espresso, some Cajun craze. So you can get a bunch of different colors on here. I think we'll leave that guy off for now. We're going to go yellow. So we have some crushed curry. So there's the other end. Nope, don't want that one. Crushed curry for a little bit of yellow, and pumpkin pie. So you can see how you can easily get a buildup of a whole bunch of different colors, but you're going to see how great he looks when he's done. And this is our Flirty Flamingo. So I pulled in the same colors as what we used. Put a tiny little bit of our blue down here. I don't know where I'm going to use it, but I might use it. Okay, so we're going to color this guy first. Now, when you are coloring with this, you want, I like using the thicker brush than the little one. Where did I just put those? I put them down. They're here, not far. So I'll show you how the difference in the size. So this is the little one. So that's how big, how much difference there is in the size. So when I'm coloring something, unless it's really small, like this guy right here, maybe, I might use the small one. But here, I have the ability to use the big one. And then here, what I also did is I just wrote, it's hard to see on there now, but small on the end. And this one actually says large. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to pull in a piece of paper towel. I'm just going to give myself some water. And to do that, you just squeeze the end where it says push. You can just squeeze. Now you get a little bit of drop of water there. I just want plain water, and I'm going to go over the whole guy. Okay, so he's going to have a little bit of water all everywhere. Okay, I would not worry too much about going outside of the lines. I know we are taught, how many of you remember coloring all of those maps? Remember for in grade school, all of those, what were they? Maps for the explorers, and we did the little blue line. Remember that? It was fun at the time, but we don't need to be within the lines perfectly like that. Okay, so I'm putting down just a little layer of the yellow, and I've just picked up some of the yellow. You saw me do that, and I'm just pulling it in right over top of where that water is. And you can see that I have some area that's a little bit darker than the other. I'm leaving his tummy a little bit more white. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself pick up a little bit of that water. I'm going to go in with some orange, and I'm going to go right over top of the yellow. And we are going to blend that color so that we create really a new color. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more going here. Pick a little bit more, and you can always add more color. That's what's great. Like, you hardly use any color when you're doing this, but it really gives you a fantastic look. Okay, so I'm using, my brush is fairly dry. I pick up water, but it's fairly dry. So I just want you to sort of take a look at what the result is there right now. Okay, so we have a fairly light color, but we're going to add a lot of drama here to this guy. So it's okay that the yellow is here, because I'm going to now pick up some of this Fleur de Flamingo. I'm going to go right in over top. Okay, so we're going to create a lot of color here, and I'm going to create a lot of color here, because hey, he's got some attitude. This is, I think this is Cajun Craze. This might be cherry, not cherry, Poppy Parade. Anybody remember what I put down there second? I think it's cherry, Cajun. I don't know where cherry's coming from. I have no cherry. And we're going to give his little claws, feet, bird, whatever, wings. They're not wings. What are they? Claws, I guess. I'm going to give him the same color. Okay, so I'm going to clean this a little bit now. So I'm going to just squeeze it so that I get a little bit of that water coming out, and I'm going to get rid of some of that color. I don't have to get rid of all of it, but I'm going to get rid of some of it, and I'm going to come back in with a little bit of brown now. Okay, so I'm going to have a little bit of brown. So you can add, you can create your own colors, and that's one of the nicest things about being able to watercolor, is that you have complete control. It may not feel like you have complete control because, hey, it's watercoloring, but you do. So just pick up a little bit of color, tap it in there. Don't take a huge amount, just get a little bit at a time, and you'll find that you can really have fun creating this guy. So let's give him here some really red. The less water you use, the more bright your color is going to be. So we're going to give him a pumpkin pie beak here. Okay, and we're going to put in some yellow too in the top here. So when you add yellow, it just intensifies it. We're going to give his eyes a little yellow. Okay, so we can always go in and add more. The nice thing about using watercolor paper is that you have the ability to add a little bit more water. If you were using plain cardstock, you're not going to have this luxury. Oh, that was probably a little bit too much orange. But you know what? Let me show you. We're going to take that orange right out of there. It's like, what was that old commercial about wash that guy right out of our hair, wasn't that? So I picked up, I've cleaned my brush, I've added just plain water. Now let's go in and I'm going to put it right over top and I'm going to lay this right on top. Okay? And instantly you have a little less of that color there. Okay, so if you make a little boo-boo, no problem. Just come back, give a little bit of color. So that's, I think, all I'm going to color this guy. Let's do the birthday cake. So the birthday cake, I think we're going to do the birthday cake in maybe some of this. We're going to go for the Flirty Flamingo. I think that's Flirty Flamingo. We're going to go with a little bit of the blue. Now, what I did not do on that one is I did not give myself any liquid. I'm going to go in and do that now. And your paper, your watercolor paper is forgiving enough that it'll let you go back in a couple times. Okay, so I really encourage you to try playing with some watercolor paper. If you haven't yet, what you're going to find is that it really gives you fantastic results. So let's do, I'm not exactly sure what color I have anywhere now, so let's go for this. A little bit more of the, this is Poppy Parade, so a little bit darker on the top. And we'll do this guy here for the candle. Okay, so I could have gone with my smaller one. I chose to go instead with the bigger one here. Let's put in a tiny little bit more blue. Now I'm sort of working towards a guy card here. So let's pull in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss again. Let's put it this way here because I think that works well. Let's go for the chubby guy. Okay, is this the chubby guy? Yeah. So it will lay on top of there just perfectly. Give yourself also that little bit of tape. Mine is gone. I need some more. Right it here. And put that over, make sure it's not going to move. And we also need our little birthday cake. And I'm not going to color the other guy for now. I do have another one colored, so you can let me know if we want to use it on our design. Okay, put that over top, run that through, and again, you're going to have no problem cutting that out. Here's our guy. There he is. And here is our birthday cake. We've got our things done here now. So we've got that. Let me bring in a couple more. Okay, so I colored this guy before. I colored one of the fences before. And then I also cut out the weather vane and the sun. Now I have cut some other designs here. Now these are cut out of the Everyday Details dies. So I'm going to pull in some of the Poppy Parade ribbon. This is from the mini catalog as well. We're just going to give ourselves a little bit behind him. We are going to go ahead and we are going to glue this down. I'm not going to put this on dimensionals. Just going to glue it down with our liquid glue. And I want to get that as straight as possible. I'm going to come over here a little bit. I want a little bit of a border here. I'm going to tuck in this guy. I'm going to give it a little bit of glue. So again, I could have put, I don't sometimes think ahead. And I probably should have put adhesive on this so that it will stick. But if you're like me, this is how you can do it. Give yourself a little dab of glue will do ya. And we're going to, I want it a little bit cockeyed. And I want it to be nice and straight. We're going to get that settled down, hopefully. We are going to put dimensionals on this fella. And I think we're just going to glue the fence. So this is thicker. Watercolor paper is a little bit thicker. So know that you do want to give it a good amount of glue. I'm going to come over here. We're going to extend beyond the edge. So what you're doing when you have a smaller die like this, don't feel that you have to put everything on the inside of the die. Extend over the edge. It's going to make it feel like it's just a little bit bigger. So we are going to try and use it right now. I'm going to try and get it in there. Let's see if I can still do it with a glue dot. It might already have set up. I wanted to go in behind the rectangle. So I'm going to put my ribbon right on top of a glue dot. Okay, I need to have it go over top so it catches both of them. I'm going to put another one on just so that we have glue on the back of it. Lift it off. And let's try and get that in behind. I might be a little bit too late, but I think we can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, and then we are just going to cut that off a little bit, just to give a little something, sort of like his feathers. Okay, we're going to put dimensionals on the back of them, and there's lots of room for dimensionals. Now, one thing that's sort of fun about any alphabet, and you can really see it on this little alphabet right here, is that the letters H and I, right together, of course, spell out hi. And so we can embellish that H and that I if we want to. We don't have to. And let's maybe use a small, where's my small guys? We'll use a small one here. These small ones are a little worse for wear. Just need one. Oh, that's too big. One here. So I'm just using up all the sides, but I need one little guy. Here we go. One little guy with my take your pick tool. Okay, so we are going to put one little saying in here. I can put some Wink of Stella on there just to give it a little bit of some sparkle, which is going to be similar. But I think maybe too, we're going to have to put some embellishments on here, right? We're going to have to. Let's do it maybe in our Poppy Parade. And I'm going to try and get this on here nice and straight. Go. We are going to, I think maybe we're just going to give this a diagonal sign here. Cut this off. So I know lots of you do not like to use your scissors for doing this. It's okay if it's not perfectly straight. Don't worry about it. It's a handmade card. Okay, so we are going to do our Rise and Shine. Let's put it, actually, we're going to put it down here. Okay, Rise and Shine is going to go down there. We're going to put it on with our little mini dimensionals. And we're going to say, done deal. And I'll pull in some embellishments as well, just to add a little bit more fun. Right along the bottom, extending over the edge. This is Starry Night. We're going to take the Starry Night and we are going to use it here. Let's put one right over top of there. Let's go for the high off to the side on the high. And then maybe let's put a couple red ones in there too, even though they are Sweet Sorbet. Let's put the guy down here, and let's put one more, maybe over here. That's how you can watercolor, color your background, and watercolor to create a unified image. Now I want to show you the one that I made in advance. Okay, so the one I made in advance is right here. Now, I want to make sure I'm still in the right place because I've lost myself. Okay, so here we are with the little bunny from the Rise and Shine. So here's the idea I was trying to show you with the letters. So I spelled joy here. I thought you could also still do fun. You could do F-U-N, readable perhaps, definitely or high. And I thought that you could also take some of the letters and just put it onto the circle like HB if you wanted to do happy birthday or something like that. So two totally different colors. This one has a white background, but I put a piece of black underneath so that they were much more vibrant, okay? And a ribbon going down the side. Thanks very much for joining me. Please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to. Also join my email list where you can get exclusive ideas from me every week. Thanks very much. Have a great paper crafting day.